What's up? It's Jomboy and Jake Radio. That was Something Corporate, 21 and Invincible to end Woe Week here. Woe Week Part 1, because there's more to be done with Woe Week. How you doing this morning, Jake?
Whoa. Yeah, it was never the biggest Something Corporate guy.
I see you more as liking Jack's Mannequin.
I mean, dark blue. I've been alone in a crowded room. I am right now, and it's yeah, I don't know. I mean, they had that one. I don't even know if it was an album. They had a couple songs that were okay.
Yeah, same. It's just one guy. Jack's Mannequin is after he got cancer.
Right.
That's what Dark Blue and that whole album's about. Getting cancer. He survived.
Same whole band.
It's just one dude.
So it was one dude. He just went by different names at different times. Who's playing the instruments?
Well, I mean, like the band changes. Like he has guys, but it's not the same three people behind him.
That's what I was at. Okay.
A lot of people do. Like Conor Oberst, Bright Eyes is one guy, and Tallest Man on Earth is one guy. They all give themselves like names that sound like bands. I don't know why it's a thing.
Sure.
But like fun in the format of the same guy. I was a huge Something Corporate fan.
Nice.
I didn't realize how young he was. Like when he was like 19 when he got famous with what was that song? You Can Be My Punk Rock Princess. No, there was another one. If You See Jordan, do you remember that song?
I don't think so.
Like, if you see Jordan, he makes me sick.
Okay.
Big when we were 2001, I want to say. Anyway. Yeah, I don't think they really age well because they're all about teenage life, which I can't relate to anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's the music your parents tell you this sucks, and then you grow up and you're like, yeah, I think you were right.
It's kind of true.
Yeah.
It's kind of true. Like Brand New has a song called 18, like that the lyrics are, we're going to be 18 forever. And then this one's 21 and Invincible.
Right.
That was so relatable when I was younger.
At the
Even
time.
when I was like 14, I was like, yes, I can't wait to be there. Now
For the life of me, my heart could not remember.
Yeah, now it's flown by. Now Something Corporate, Jack's Mannequin, he's still putting out music, but he just goes by his real name, I think, which is Andrew McMahon.
So he's got 3 different gigs going, and you're telling me they're all the same.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like Bon Iver and Justin whatever. Like, you know, he's got different monikers for different styles of music he likes.
He goes by JT, Justin Timberlake.
And then there's even, I don't know if you know him, Father John Misty. He's got like JT Tillman albums and Father John Misty albums. It's like a common thing where frontmen use band names for different styles of music.
Sure.
Gaslight Anthem has, he's got, I think he's up to 3 bands now. And a solo album.
Okay.
It's crazy. It's very confusing to keep track of.
And I won't.
How are you doing?
All right, man. Big day. Huge day.
One of the best days in sports. It's vasectomy season. It's time to go home and watch TV all day.
Yeah. We'll see what games get to watch. Lot to do. Got to do Talking Huskies. Got to get my life in order a little bit. But, yeah, it's bracket season.
It is bracket season. This was the first time when, after college, you know, you can stay home and watch all these games when you're in college, which is the best part about college. And then after college, I went to work for the videography company, and for the first March Madness, I went to the office. I didn't have to, but I was trying to make an impression and all that stuff, you know. And then the next year, it was when I decided they offered for me to work from home, so I'm just going to work from home when March Madness happened. You just put, and the way they have it these last, like, it's probably been 7 years now, they have it on True TV, and like, so you can see game after game, ending after game after ending after game after ending after game, you know?
Yeah, someone had a really good tweet yesterday that was, it was today's schedule, but it was in like an Excel sheet with like the hours and like an overlay. So you could see like, okay, this will be wrapping up then, that game starts, and this one will be okay.
I need that.
Like, yeah, it was a really good tweet.
Did you like it?
I don't know. I think I did.
If you liked it, I'm gonna find the hell out of it.
Whoa.
I don't think you did. Bummerville. Go find me that tweet. I want a schedule.
Yeah, we'll see if I will.
Do you want to rate your day yesterday?
Rate my day and get a job. What was yesterday? Wednesday. Me and the dog. I don't know. Tough day. Brutal day. Did I see? I watched St. John's through a window down a hallway briefly to see them not scoring points. So that was sports. What happened in the Yankees game yesterday? I don't even know. I was barely paying attention to it.
Gary had an RBI.
Gary had the RBI. Nothing happened. That's right. We did their first pregame show, and then we basically had the dullest game of spring so far.
Yeah, Holder got like knocked around, but didn't give up a hit.
Strategic. He's playing chess. Everyone else is playing checkers.
The pregame show is a plus. I think it was fun.
Yeah. Pregame show is going to be great. If any of you somehow aren't our Yankee listeners, we're doing a pregame show for every Yankee game this year. So if you're listening and you don't have a baseball team, or you don't have an AL baseball team, or your baseball team just sucks, time to jump on.
There's a lot of the baseball teams that just suck.
Yeah. It's like, get over. Like, what are you doing at this point? Like, don't be proud. Like, I hit my point with the Knicks fan. I was like, if there was no light at the tunnel soon, it's like, might as well go to Brooklyn. Like, it's same city, nice people. But, like, they should be in position now. They should. I had a good, I don't think I ever told you this. I had a good Yankee story the other day. Our buddy Chapin and I, we have our nerdy baseball game we play that's like an online community of its own.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was talking to some guy, because that's my life. And he he was like, yeah, I used to be a Yankees fan, but I stopped being a Yankees fan in 1984 when they traded Greg Nettles. And I was like, he's like, that was my favorite player. And I was like, okay, sure. And then he goes, so yeah, for 3 years I was pissed off and hated them. And then 3 years later, it came out that he demanded a trade. So
that guy's life got rocked. So I wish we could have seen his eyes when he found that out.
Yeah.
Jaw-dropping or tear-inducing. It was one or the other. Maybe both.
There's 3 years there where he's like, I changed allegiances and my favorite team became my least favorite team. And then he's like, so 3 years later, I didn't really know what to do. So I just kind of drifted. And I was like, whoa, man. We're done 35 years you've been drifting now, Hank. Catch the net.
A lot of New Yorkers drifted until the Mets came when the Giants and the Dodgers left. And
that's when I said drifted, I meant that's what he says he likes, but he doesn't know.
Oh, yeah. But a lot of people in New York, when the Giants and Dodgers left, they didn't want to become a Yankees fan.
Right.
And baseball was like the only sport then. So like, what the fuck do we do now? And then they had to wait until the late 70s when the Mets came. That's why the Mets colors are half the Dodgers, half the Giants.
Luckily, they were gifted with the Mets that many years later.
You got to witness the worst team in baseball in 78 or something, right?
Beat the Mets.
Did the Orioles beat them for worst team in baseball last year?
Interesting question. Yeah. Oh, so far, yeah. They had the Cy Young winner.
So were the Orioles the worst team in baseball last year? In the history of baseball?
I don't think so. I think this year is the concern. I think people are like, holy smokes, they might be the worst team ever this year. I think there's a couple silly teams like all time. I don't know if it's dead ball or stuff, but teams that
the 62 Mets won 40 games.
That's tough. That's not a good squad.
40 and 120. That's the most recent. Holy shit, the 2003 Tigers. I didn't know that. I didn't know that we had a 2000s team that bad. 43 and 119, the 2003 Tigers.
Not bad.
And then the 2018 Baltimore Orioles, 47 and 115. Yeah, Orioles are on the top 20 worst seasons in the modern era last year. And this year they're planning on being worse.
Yeah, there's a chance they're worse, but I also almost think it's that reverse effect that they're playing so many young guys that they're just going to care every game that you'd like to think they will, but maybe those young guys are just bad. So
the Orioles went into last year with Adam Jones, Machado. They traded for Alex Cobb, and their plan was to give the division a fight.
Right. I mean, they're really
the 20 worst season in the history of the sport.
I mean, they're a really good example of what one bad contract can do to a mid-level size team.
And because they didn't have any like devastating injuries, right?
I mean, it's tough to say. They had no pitching. They had this crop of pitching prospects, Gossman and the other guy, that like never fully panned out. They're just kind of these 4-2, like fourth and fifth starters. And then they signed Alex Cobb before the season, but it was like literally right before the season, so he wasn't ready. He had a terrible year. And they had like no bullpen. And they have Chris Davis making like $25 million to be the worst player in baseball. So not only is he taking up cap space for them, could be 4 or 5 quality players, but he's also playing and being the worst.
Yeah. Just tough spin for an Orioles fan who went into the season thinking they were going to give the division a fight and come out top 20 worst season in baseball history.
Yeah.
What's the March Madness song I'm going to play while we get into this? Not One Shining Moment.
Right.
Just a CBS college theme, you think?
Just play that March song you always play. And just don't be ridiculous.
Okay, let's talk brackets. Got a lot of games on the schedule today because it's one of the best days in sports. We got Minnesota at Louisville, Yale at LSU, New Mexico State at Auburn, Vermont at Florida State, Bradley at Michigan State, Belmont at Maryland, Northeastern at Kansas, Murray State at Marquette, Florida versus Nevada, Abilene Christian versus Kentucky, St. Mary's versus Villanova, Fairleigh Dickinson versus Gonzaga, Montana versus Michigan, Seton Hall versus Wofford, Old Dominion versus Purdue, and Baylor versus Syracuse. Games start at noon Eastern and end starting at 10 Eastern.
Jim, so I need to distract you with this before we get too far into the games. Abilene Christian coach. Start Googling that. So he got interviewed the other day, and it's always fun, man. I mean, you forget, like, just think about what our college, CCSU, was on the scale. And, like, if we saw those guys, Kenny Horton, some of the dudes, like, playing basketball, it'd be like, holy cow, like, these guys are in March Madness. That's really cool. So Abilene Christian's a small school, small town, and the coach gets interviewed for his March Madness interview the other day. And I guess when they won, he ripped his suit. And he's got this like Southern accent, which always makes it fun. And he's got a really funny talking style. And he's like, well, here's the deal. I've got 2 suits. One suit just left at an airport this year. Lost it. True story. That's on me. He goes, so second suit, I got my light baby blue suit. I'm wearing it at the game. We win. I'm celebrating. I rip my pants. Got a hole in the back of my pants. So we go back to Abilene Christian. We got one tailor in town. They don't got time for my suit. So at the game, I'm wearing my baby blue suit, and it's got a hole in my butt. It's like, That's what I'm here for.
That's pretty good. So now we're rooting for him to beat Kentucky.
Yes, I mean it's a real shot in the dark, but yes.
And that's my neighbor we're talking about over at Kentucky.
Right, you and Cal, good friends.
Go way back. I've said hi to him exactly 3 times.
Has there been anything past hi?
I usually call him Coach because I'm cool like that.
Right.
So hey, Coach, how you doing today? And then I think he's returned like doing good. How
Good.
about
How you doing?
Yeah.
He gives you a Joey Tribbiani. How you doing?
Yeah. I'll hunt him down this summer. We'll have him on. We'll have him come on Talking Yanks. Talk some Yanks with us.
I mean, I wouldn't hunt him, but
I don't have to hunt him. I just go to the Dunkin' Donuts and he's there.
Okay.
He sits on the outside table and does his phone calls from there.
Nice.
Gonna go pick up some coffee, hon, and make about 5 calls to 10 recruits.
Actually, you know what's funny? I heard Cal's wife is a who. I heard she's like the opposite of him.
Probably. I don't
She's
know.
like she's sarcastic and kind of pissy and like would never do the bullshit that Coach Cal does.
Dude, I wonder if he's going to be pissed this summer. Little inside scoop. They redid the boardwalk here in Lavalette, and Calipari's block is a handicap block, which means to get from the boardwalk to the beach, you have to walk on a wooden maze of a map. It takes so long. If I was on that block, I'd be like, can we make a non-handicap path so I can just walk straight onto the beach as well?
I think Cal's gonna find a way around that.
Yeah, he might lobby for a straight path. So everyone,
that might have been strategic by the town to get some money out of Cal.
Whoa. Yeah, he's probably not even close to the richest person here.
Ooh.
Got mob bosses. Well, we got Joe Pesci. How rich is he?
Well, if you think I won't Google that. How rich is Joe Pesci?
And the bracket talk has gone off the rails.
Joe Pesci's net worth by one of those fake sites that makes up celebrities' net worth, 50 mil. I'll buy it.
Nice. Good job, Joe Pesci. I mean, every Christmas he gets money from Home Alone.
Sure.
Royalties. All right. So you want to go down the bracket, right?
Yeah, I
think
think
2 rounds.
Jim, you know what? I think we even have to do more because I was just thinking about it and like you're right. But okay, we're just gonna say the first 2 rounds of our brackets and not talk about our final 4 teams or anything. So I think we do top left quadrant, bottom left quadrant, top right, bottom right, and we'll get our final 4 and champs.
Okay, here's the thing.
Okay.
I know Jake. Oh, I'm reading a comment from Jordan Gag here. Jake always talked about how bad he was at using the internet in the early days of JJR. Getting pretty good now. He's the Benjamin Button of Google.
Ooh, I mean, if you think, I would say I've never been good at the internet. Like Joe Pesci's net worth, like that's in my wheelhouse. I have to type in Joe Pesci net worth, and there's going to be a pop-up right at the top of Google.
You could probably figure.
It gives me a fake answer I'll believe.
You could probably figure out his age too.
Age and net worth are like wheelhouse.
What about hometown? That'd be a little harder for you.
I mean, Wiki's decent for that.
All right. Here we go. Top left bracket. We got Duke's the 1 seed, and Michigan State's the 2 seed. We got Louisville, Maryland, Yale, VTech.
Sure.
Who do you got?
Let's go down. Duke, North Dakota State. I mean,
1, 2, 3, Duke.
Okay. Duke then. VCU, UCF. Who you like there, Jim?
VCU.
So, Jim, this is a storyline pick. The UCF coach used to be Duke's assistant coach, Johnny Dawkins.
So you want them to play each other?
So I'm a storyline guy. So I'm going UCF there.
Okay. I don't like UCF because our friend Taylor went there.
Sure.
And all his stories from there just suck.
Okay. Like the reasoning.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't want to root for that school.
Mississippi State Liberty.
I went Liberty.
Really?
They upset my fucking heel Lipscomb people, so I'm a Liberty fan now.
Okay.
I hated Lipscomb.
If that was Lipscomb, I would have picked them, but I can't pick Liberty. Like I'm just sitting here saying, what basketball players can Mississippi State get over Liberty? And they have to be so much better.
Yeah. This is a loyalty pick for me.
Right.
They beat those fucks from Lipscomb.
Gator, respect me. I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, Liberty probably get broken and smoked, but they're also from the Big South Conference.
12-5.
There's always a 12-5, right?
Always a 12-5, baby.
So you have to pick a 12-5 and hope you hit it. Is that how you do your bracket? That's how I do my bracket.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have one 12-5. That's like the default rule. Jim, call me crazy, call me maybe. I feel like you have to have a 12 and a 13 these days. You still can't knowingly pick the 14 unless there's really something up.
I agree. I agree. You need to have one of each. Otherwise, it's boring.
Virginia Tech, St. Louis.
VTech.
I went St. Louis here. So that's my 13. I think, oh God, I got a couple 13s now. I'm starting to hate my bracket. Virginia Tech's just a choke school in basketball. I'm sorry. Wow. And like St. Louis has kind of a history. The Billikens will give them a game. Plus, they're the Billikens. Fun team.
Who's their star scorer?
I think Duke's got a really good bracket, by the way. Like, who of these teams before the Elite Eight can actually give Duke a game?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, seriously. Like, you look at some other 4 seeds out there and even 5 seeds, and you're like, okay, they could play with Duke. Like, Mississippi State? Virginia Tech? No. There's a little spoiler.
Ooh, spoilers. But do you know who St. Louis Billikens' top scorer is?
No.
Wow. So you don't know that he's out for this game?
I mean, if he is, that galvanizes the team, man.
He got bit by a bunch of firebugs on the bus.
You think so? The St. Louis's lead scorer got bit by a bunch of firebugs.
Yeah. Javen Bess. Yeah. Best fix your leg because you got bit by bugs. And he's out. So that's tough, right?
We got Maryland Belmont.
Yeah, I went Maryland. Wanted to go Belmont. I love this matchup because it just sounds like so snobbish to me.
Ooh. Yeah.
Maryland versus Belmont. Just think of the horse races and Maryland in general, and just a bunch of preppy snobs.
Ooh, I didn't think of the horse race aspect. I like that. Yeah, I think this. If I was going to label this game, this is the classic. Everyone is on Belmont, so Maryland will win. Like, the underdog has now become the favorite, and you just messed up with the juju, so Maryland wins.
Yeah.
LSU Yale, Jim. This is the game. This is the game people are talking about.
If you root for Yale, you're a bad person.
Really?
Yeah. Their lives are set. They go to Yale.
Okay.
They don't need anyone else in their corner. They're going to graduate with a degree from Yale. Winning this game doesn't mean shit to them. LSU? Those guys on LSU, they're going to graduate from college and go work some shitty job like you and I and everyone else has to do for minimum pay. And they need the glory days of when they won a March Madness game. So if you root for Yale, you better have went to Yale or know someone that's on the team or that goes to Yale.
All right. I mean, LSU's got the scandal going on with their coach right now. So
yeah, because they're real, man. They're real.
The coach isn't going to be there. A lot of people like Yale. This is an Ivy League team that can score. I think LSU, I think this is almost the same as Belmont. Like, there's so many people out there that I think have a Belmont Yale, and they're like, this is going to be the shit show bracket, bro.
I love choosing upsets.
Right.
But I just never choose an Ivy League school.
Okay. They have some of the most famous upsets in NCAA history. Princeton.
I know Harvard went deep a couple years ago, right?
But it's kind of a new style. These guys like shoot and run up the court now because they're smart.
Yeah. All right, and then we have Michigan State. Bradley, I went Michigan State.
Michigan State, and we skipped one there. Louisville, Minnesota, the Patino Bowl.
Louisville.
Okay, I went Louisville as well.
So, I mean, the first round is fun, but the second round we could be debating games that won't ever happen. Let's just say who we have coming out of this.
Yeah, who you got making moves there, Jim?
Duke. I got Duke versus Michigan State. I think it's a pretty weak bracket in the middle, which is what you said.
Yeah, I mean, LSU is the 3 seed. Like, they were good this year, but now they're literally without their coach, and they've got a scandal going on, and they've been playing poorly. I mean, Virginia Tech does nothing for me. Mississippi State. I mean, I don't see anyone that can hang. I don't see anyone giving Duke a game until Michigan State, and I just don't think like Michigan State's that great. You know, like they could get beat. So yeah, I think Duke comes out. And the hot takes.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks like picking favorites. It's boring for people, but.
Well, that's the thing. If they're, and I know they've played this year and they beat them, so this sounds like a bad example, but if there was another Syracuse out there that Duke was going to play in the second or third round, you could be like, whoa, they're going to play that 2-3. Duke starts missing some shots. They could get a little tight, and then you could have a ball game, which I'm sure is going to happen. People are talking about UCF like that because they have a 7-6 guy on their team. But I don't even know if they're going to play VCU. I've only got them there because they're storyline game. So I think Duke is going to cruise partially the bracket, but they're also just real good.
Yeah. So what do you have? Where do you want to go next? You want to go down below next?
I think bottom left. How about Zaga Dickinson? I mean, I know you like Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah, I don't have. Hold on. I went off to a new thing.
Okay.
My bad. Going bottom left. Well, I got Zaga, obviously.
Sure. Yeah, and that's fine. Yeah, Zags, Syracuse, Baylor, Jim?
I went Syracuse.
I think everyone has to go Syracuse. This feels like the game everyone loses. Like, everyone just looks at this and they're like, Baylor doesn't make a lot of tournament runs. Syracuse does make a lot of tournament runs. I feel like, end of the day, this is probably an 80-20 Cuse games, which makes me think Baylor's got.
Oh, so wait. You think Baylor's going to win?
Like, I think so many people are going to be on Cuse. Like, it's just going to be one of those years Cuse shits the bed. A lot of reverse psychology with brackets, Jim.
So who did you choose?
Syracuse.
You think they're going to lose?
Yes.
Okay. That's a tricky situation.
Right.
It's a tricky situation you got going there.
Here's the 12 seed, Jim.
Yes.
Murray State, Ja Morant. And again, with my reverse psychology theory I'm shooting out.
Oh, shit. This is a pick. I chose Marquette because they're fresh on my brain for just beating St. John's.
Right.
But I forgot about Ja Morant.
Right.
And I want him to do he's already more on the map than Steph Curry was at Davidson.
Right.
But I want him to take Murray State deep enough where he secures a high draft pick. Like, I'm rooting for that storyline. I think that's one of the more fun storylines that can come out of March Madness when you have a 8 to 12 seed, 8 to 13 seed, and you have a kid who's putting them on their back who has now just made himself into a draft pick.
Right, and that's the cool thing. Like this, like if Ja Morant gets hot, like they could even beat Gonzaga if you're really feeling nuts. But
dude, I can change my picks. This is awesome. It's not too late.
And games start in a couple hours.
Wow, I now have Murray State beating Marquette, then beating Florida.
Whoo, Florida State against Vermont. That's always a tricky one when you just get Vermont in there. Everyone has good flashbacks to the Taylor Coppenrath team.
Maybe I can't submit my pick.
Pick may have not been changed. Jimmy, you're going to love this one. You're going to love my nuts. Buffalo, Arizona State. Jim, Arizona State's coach is the other Hurley brother, Bobby. So Danny coaches UConn, Bobby coaches Arizona State.
I saw Hurley was in the stands.
Yeah, but so I always mix up the name. So Bobby Hurley used to coach at Buffalo before he went to Arizona State.
Ah.
So he's probably got a couple of recruits there. We got this. It could be a ball game.
I got Buffalo. They were ranked this year, and everyone was like, "What the fuck, Buffalo?" And they are out to kind of prove their worth.
Yeah, and they're going to be pissed off at the coach. It's a cold, like awful weather school versus a warm weather school that has their coach that has their coach that left to go there. That's basically like one of the Mighty Ducks movies.
People from warm weather states have no idea that that's a mindset that Northeast have. Like, I will root for a cold weather state before I root for a warm weather state easily.
Yeah.
And I think there's an actual edge, which there may not be.
I think there's a literal toughness.
I mean, I think walking
out into the cold to go do a task makes you tougher than walking out into the warm to do a task.
I agree in life it does, but for like a college basketball player, I don't know how it translates to sports.
That's on the coach.
Texas Tech versus North Kentucky. I chose North Kentucky.
Really?
Because I wanted to choose 114 seed to win in the first round, and I just chose them. And that's my entire reasoning. It was literally coin flip pick. I couldn't choose Yale. They were out. So this was my 14 seed where I was like, well, I got to choose one of them.
I like it. I saw a couple Tech games this year, and I really liked them because they were like the late game. So I mean, I just think North Kentucky. I think they can. I think they'll take care of that.
Well, who do you have?
Tech.
Yeah. Okay. Nevada versus Florida. Florida.
This is such a slop game. I went Nevada, but like nobody knows or cares.
And then I got Michigan, obviously. Who do you have coming out of this bracket? Who's your Elite Eight coming out?
So Elite Eight, I have Florida State versus Michigan, and I have Florida State moving on. I like Florida State.
So I had Florida State versus Michigan.
Ooh.
But I just changed it because I want Murray State to win the first two games.
Right. So who do you have coming out now?
It really fucked up. It changed my Final Four.
Yeah. That's when you know you're confident.
That pick to have Ja Morant take Murray State 2 games into the thing, which totally isn't going to happen now.
By the way, this is a good thing to tell people, and this is a cop out. Everyone comes out with the hate my bracket, but I have a reason I hate my bracket.
Anyway,
we'll get to it at the end.
I had Florida State winning this bracket, and then when I realized I wanted Ja Morant to do good, I had to change that. So now I have Zaga beating Michigan.
Congrats, Gonzaga.
Yeah, congrats. Ja Morant got you a victory.
Good for you guys. What do we think? Top right?
Yeah, top right. Let's go down a little quicker this time. We both have Virginia over Gardner-Webb, so we can skip.
Yeah, you have to. Oklahoma will miss, like straight toss up.
I will rent Oklahoma straight toss up. I like Oklahoma better than Ole Miss. Boom.
Ooh, yeah, I went Oklahoma too. There you go.
Wisconsin versus Oregon. This is now like slow people versus fast people in my mind.
Yeah, this is another sexy 12-5. Oregon's playing really well lately. Wisconsin is Wisconsin. I went Oregon.
I just went Wisconsin. I feel like they can disrupt everything Oregon wants to do.
I like it.
One of them's going to win the disruption battle. This is a disruption game.
This is a classic. I'll tell you what this game is, Jim. Winner of this game goes to the Sweet 16. I don't know if it's Oregon or Wisconsin, but the winner of this game goes to the Sweet 16.
I don't have that. But both these teams play drastically different style, or have I not been paying attention correctly?
A little bit. I mean, Wisconsin. Oregon's playing really good defense lately, but yeah, in theory, they'd like to run and play. Everyone wants to play faster than Wisconsin.
So it's a battle of the pace of game. So if Wisconsin wins that, it can really frustrate Oregon. And if Oregon wins it, they'll really tire out Wisconsin. I have slow and steady winning the race.
Nice. Tale as old as time.
Kansas State versus UC Irvine. I went Kansas State. Like UC Irvine, it's it's Irvine, California.
This is my 13.
They don't have the toughness to beat Kansas State.
This is my shit show area of the bracket. Every bracket has to have one area that's a pure shit show, and this is mine. I think it's going to be UC Irvine beats K-State. Their best player actually is hurt, not from fire ants or anything like that.
That's an actual hurtness.
And it would. But yeah, this is going to be where a 12-13 gets to play to go to the Sweet 16.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I just think like UC Irvine, there's no fans traveling for them. Kansas State's going to have a bunch of fans, feel more like a home game.
Ooh. It's in San Jose, California.
I guarantee more Kansas State fans will go than UC Irvine fans.
I don't know. I think you're underestimating March Madness. Well, it is a vacation from Kansas State too. So
yeah, and it's cold weather, warm weather, man.
Yeah, I don't know. The anteaters are in it, man. And I'll tell you. So I just want to accent why this will be the shit show bracket to a degree. I've got St. Mary's beating Villanova.
I have Villanova going to the Final Four.
Yeah. See, I think that's very popular. They're defending champs, Villanova. They're like clockwork. St. Mary's just beat the Zags. They're running hot right now. Everyone's on Nova. So I think with UC Irvine, St. Mary's, this side of the bracket gets a lot of red ink tomorrow.
If you're from UC Irvine, how do you want to spend your weekend? Do you want to go to Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, Long Beach, or do you want to drive to San Jose and go watch a basketball game?
I want to go to San Jose and beat the hell out of those Kansas State curmudgeons.
I like Nova's storyline. I might be a simpleton, but they were the champs last year, right?
Right.
They didn't have as powerhouse of a season, but they just won the Big East, and they can use that momentum to roll in just like UConn did when they were in 2011.
I think they got the big target, and I think I'm picturing it now like, wow, last year's defending champ is out in the first game. Yeah. Sorry, Kenny.
Purdue, I have them beating Old Dominion.
Yeah.
I have Iowa beating Cincinnati.
I went Cincy, kind of an AAC homer pick.
Yeah, and then I had Tennessee beating Colgate. So I have Nova beating Virginia.
Okay, I actually really like that. But I do have Nova losing in the first round. I think this is Virginia's year they come out. I mean, after the embarrassment of last year, and they've got a lot of the same guys.
Oh, imagine if they get embarrassed again. Be awesome.
Like you can't. Like if they get embarrassed again, and even the second round.
It's now the Yips of March Madness. They're the Rick and Keel of March Madness.
If they lose to Ole Miss or Oklahoma or Gardner-Webb somehow, like you are officially cursed. Like your team can't do well. Like if they lose in the first or second round this year, we'll look back in 10 years and remember and be like, yo, remember when Virginia had a couple good years and now they're awful? Because you just curse yourself.
Yeah. All right, let's go bottom right.
I've got them against Tennessee. So the 1 and 2 in the Elite Eight in my shit show bracket. So maybe I'm kind of a liar. North Carolina, easy. Unless you're Iona Gales.
No, did you hear his interview he did with Francesa?
I saw the link on Twitter. I saw Francesa say like you don't have a chance or something like that.
Yeah, and people were acting like they were like ripping Francesa, but it led for a great comment. He was like, "This is the worst 1 seed you could have had because they play the same game as you, only they have NBA players.
Right,
it was a tough matchup." And Tim Kluse just said, "Yep, you're correct."
Bingo.
And then Francesa was like, "But what I love about you is you're not going to change your game. You're just not going to try and do anything different." And Kluse was laughing. He was like, "Yeah, you're right, man. Like it's going to be tough, but go Gales." It was good. Gales. It was like people were ripping Francesa, but it got a good response out of Kluse, so it's a good question. That's how that works.
Yeah.
Anyway, North Carolina, Utah, Washington. I chose Washington.
Utah, Washington.
This
Utah State. Big difference, Jen.
This game right here, Utah State versus Washington, is that's my don't care of the March Madness.
Ooh, is that the least interesting game of the first round?
Yeah.
Interesting. You might be right.
Because it's an 8 versus 9, so like there's no huge upset factor. and it's Utah State versus Washington. I don't give a fuck about those places, those people,
Yeah,
those teams.
that's a pretty good call. I went Utah State just because I think the Pac-12 sucks.
Auburn, I have them beating New Mexico.
Yep. Bing.
I have Kansas beating Northeastern.
Yeah, I wanted to pick my Huskies for my Northeastern guys, but it's just like that sucks. Like I don't know. Like Northeastern's a good team. One of my buddies from high school is one of their assistant coaches. But like if you had Virginia Tech there, I'd be like, yes. But Kansas? No, Kansas.
I have Ohio beating Iowa.
Oh, okay. I like that little upset. I went Iowa State. I think they got some nice wins this year.
Houston beating Georgia State.
Got Houston.
I have Seton Hall beating Wofford.
Georgia State's got one of your favorite upsets all time. The coach's son had a really good game, and the coach was on one leg because he hurt himself celebrating the tournament before.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Wofford?
I got Seton Hall beating them.
I need you to change that to Wofford, Jim.
Why?
Wofford will crack you up. They're awesome.
Yeah, but I got Seton Hall beating them.
It's like 4.5 white guys. One guy has the ultimate, like, JJ Redick, just your friend in the backyard that's a good shooter. He has no rules. He gets to shoot from anywhere. He's the classic NCAA tournament guy. He's gonna set the record for NCAA 3-pointers in this game.
I'll take all that in.
That's just March Madness.
I'll take all that in, and I'll rebut you and just say the words New Jersey.
That's good. They're good.
And Kentucky's beating Christian and the ripped pants. So I have Kentucky beating North Carolina because my neighbor Cal.
Right. Okay, you got the Cats making moves. All right, that'll make my buddy Andy happy. I'm going. I've got North Carolina coming out. North Carolina versus Houston. I got Wofford taking down Kentucky. I think that's going to be the memorable game from the tournament.
So do you have Duke versus North Carolina as your championship matchup?
Yes.
I have Duke versus Kentucky.
And I think it's.
And do you have Duke winning?
No, I have Carolina winning.
I have Duke winning.
Okay. So Jim, if the people have been listening, which they might not have been, I have four ACC.
I don't think this was actually that interesting. But
I have 4 ACC teams. I have Duke, Florida State, Virginia, North Carolina.
Wow.
Which is like that's never happened, I don't think. So I'm basically hedging my bets there. Like I think 3 of them will leak out. But yeah, just having 4 ACC teams feels like a bad pick.
Yeah.
But dude, how cool would Duke, North Carolina be again? That's what I'm saying.
Would be cool. Duke, Kentucky's the same shit. No, it's not.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
Blue Bloods.
Well, there you go. There's a bunch of losers. Don't choose what we chose.
Yeah, I would not choose a lot. What if you could pass on? Okay, here's a fun game. One game, life on the line, and it's got to be between the 13 seed and the 4 seed. You have to pick one of those games. So do you know what I'm saying? Like it could be 4-13 or it could be 5-12 or 8-9. One game for your life that you had to tell someone. Like if you were in the office today and you were throwing a late elbow, like, hey, I got a little inside. You got to pick this game. I guarantee it. Which one would you tell people?
Houston, Georgia State? Is that the opposite direction?
No, that works. That was my minimum requirements. I think that's a pretty good one.
And Kansas State over Irvine.
See, I don't know. I mean, I've got Irvine.
I just did that one because I knew you had the opposite.
I'm Purdue Old Dominion, maybe. I guess we're copping out by going on the 3 line. But it's the beauty of March, babe.
Beauty of March. Someone just did like another Yankees Twitter bracket on Twitter.
Maybelline.
But I don't recognize anyone on there. All right, let's just do we have some national news. Right?
There's a little natty news.
You want to do it? You want to just skip to the real news? Let's just skip to the real news.
Let's skip to the real news.
You want to do one sentence each on the national news?
I'll do it as one running sentence.
1, 2, 3, national news.
Marcus Smart cheap shot on Embiid as Sixers win. Ichiro retiring after this morning's game. It was still live a second ago. Did anyone win? Harden with another 50-point game in a loss.
Nice.
The news today, oh boy, and though the news was rather sad, well, I just have to laugh.
I know it's 6 o'clock. Time for the news.
A 13-year-old driver clocked at 100 miles per hour in a police chase in northern Idaho. What else is there to do? A woman entered a Miss Hitler contest in a neo-Nazi recruitment bid. Doesn't say if she won or lost. A video of a woman licking the toilet seat on an airplane. This has gone viral. It's pretty disgusting. We are a licking podcast. She said that this was the first thing she licked that made her tongue go numb. A man who poisoned his colleague's sandwiches is now jailed for life. Makes sense. A man forced to shorten his fence on the corner of his street gets revenge by staging a tea party of naked mannequins on his lawn. Police used a fake subway wall to catch a pro-Trump graffiti artist. That is, they shoehorned Trump into the headline just to get clicks. Police use a fake subway wall to catch a graffiti artist is just as good as a headline. Police searching for woman who allegedly smeared her feces on 500 feet of carpet.
I read the news today, oh boy.
Where do you want to go first? 13-year-old clocked at 100 miles per hour in Idaho?
Yeah.
Is like, do you think this is the first time a 13-year-old's gone 100 miles per hour in Idaho?
No.
What do you think they do after school from the hours of 3 to 6?
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good point. I mean, what do you want them to do? And it's probably one of the safer things they can do. I mean, if we're being honest, it's just all open road up there.
Just buckle up and go to the field and drive. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they run the safety tests on the cars now for this reason. And it reminds me of one of my favorite lines all time. I think I've said this before on here, but at my first real job, CED, shout out, management training program, double shout out. It was just a group of guys from all over the country, nobody making any money. But we'd have a good time when we'd get together. And they were doing we were in town for a conference or something, and the guy, he was talking about convenience or lifestyle or something like that. And he's like, how many people live within 15 minutes of where you work? And like 5 guys raise their hands or whatever. And so he kind of goes around the room and he's like, okay, you. And someone's like, oh, it's like 10 minutes away, hop on the highway, get off, easy. Another guy, yeah, same thing. It's right down the road, blah, blah. Last guy that goes, he goes, yeah, well, I live in Nebraska, so I'm basically 15 minutes from anywhere, depending how fast you want to drive. It's like, yeah, there you go. That's the same in Idaho.
Yeah, just driving. It's fun. It's fun to do bad things. Krause we'll get our Krause mention in, was the biggest Letarian Milton fan I knew. The 13-year-old kid who stole his mom's car, like 2007.
Yeah, I mean, it's a name that hasn't resounded with me.
Do hood rat things with my friends.
Right.
Well, I don't understand this Miss Hitler contest. I guess as women signed up for Miss Hitler contest, did no one else sign up for the Miss Hitler contest? Because that's like a bad contest.
How?
Oh, she won.
So she was the best Miss Hitler.
I mean, someone had to win the contest.
Why are we still doing Miss Hitler contests?
Because they're neo-Nazis.
Yeah, okay. Good
Her nickname is the Buchenwald Princess.
God,
oh, geez, that's really tough.
Don't. Yeah, well, you can do anything you want in this life, Jim.
Jesus, yeah, don't do that, though.
Don't do that, though, please.
Did you see the video of this girl licking the toilet seat on the airplane?
Yeah, that went pretty viral yesterday, huh?
Wow. Good for her. I mean, I was under the impression that this was kind of like a dude perfect scenario.
Right.
She probably had some Windex, some like bleach, and wiped it all down and then licked it.
Sure.
But I guess not. She said, or maybe she did. I don't know. She got famous from it. She said her tongue went numb.
So that was her excuse for licking the toilet?
No. She said, I've licked a lot of toilets in my day, but this was the first that made my tongue go numb.
You can do anything you want in this world.
I mean, as a guy who's licked a lot of stuff and doesn't care about licking things, this one grossed me out.
Yeah, licking a toilet's a tough look.
Like, I think I've licked the pole on a subway before just because people were like, that's disgusting. I was like, it's nothing. So I did that.
But not for nothing. I mean, how far away are we really going here? If you're having like a throw up night in college, like when you put your head to that toilet and you feel the cold porcelain, it's not a bad feeling.
You touch the toilet when you throw up?
No, I'm saying like there's the after throw up, like, ugh, you're throwing up, and then like it's out and you just put your head down and you just put it on the corner of the toilet seat because you know you're bottoming out.
I've never done that.
Oh, you're missing out. That's the best part of it.
I've never made contact with the toilet with my head. But you are the toilet face killer.
I've been called that. You're one of the biggest throw up guys I know. I think you're missing out on an aspect of it. I think you're missing out on the rush.
You just rest with your head on the toilet?
It's just after. It's like, wow, I just threw up my guts. This is awful. I've been throwing up into a toilet. You just do one head nod on the toilet. It's kind of like a respect. It's kind of religious in a way. Yeah.
I don't get that close to the bowl. I'm a hoverer, like how girls pee when I throw up.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know, toilet face God though. Living up to your name. The man who poisoned his college's sandwiches is jailed for life. That makes sense, right? Lock that guy up.
You just have to lock that guy up.
You can't go around poisoning your coworkers' sandwiches. If you do, you get locked up.
No, it's like anything. You get 2 strikes. Third one.
57 years old was the age of this male. I mean, this guy's probably a habitual sandwich poisoner. I don't think at 57 you dabble.
Yeah, another German guy. His wife lost Miss Hitler.
It is a German guy. His name's Klaus.
Klaus.
I wonder if he killed anyone.
Yeah, details.
Jeez, man. What else? What's next on this weird news list? Oh, click on the man that was told to shorten his fence. So his fence is on the corner of a street, and they said that he built this tall fence so his dogs could play without jumping over it. And someone complained that when you stop at the stop line, his fence is obstructing your view of cars coming from the right.
Okay.
Which shouldn't really be a concern because it's a 4-way stop.
Right.
So like those cars have to stop. But they complained. So he cut his fence shorter, and then he had these leftover mannequins from whatever his job is, and he staged a naked mannequin tea party on the corner of his lawn.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very into that.
I'm on his side.
Yeah.
He cut the fence. That's what you do. You do what they say and then prove how dumb they are.
And not for nothing. Did you see the picture of how he set them up?
Yeah. It's like
nice.
Yeah, it's like Last Supper-esque. Like it looks like art.
They're blurring out the mannequins.
Isn't that so weird?
What year is it?
I don't know. It's got to be whatever. Like it's the HuffPost. Like I don't know. But they're blurring out the mannequin part.
Blurring out mannequins now?
Like the mannequin boobs. If they have nipples on them, maybe you can blur that out. But blurring out the mannequin vagina area, that's literally just plastic. It's not like they sculpted a vagina into the mannequin.
It's like maybe that changes the story a little bit. maybe these mannequins weren't from this guy's job.
Maybe if they remove the blur on these mannequins, there's just a big dildo like dangling around in the wind.
Bunch of sex mannequins. Guys like, here we go.
He's now set up a museum. He says we've had a bunch of people, like 50 people, stop and take pictures and tell me how great it is. Like the community's on his side, not on the lady who said or the person who told him to cut down his fence.
Fight the power.
Yeah. What about this subway graffiti trap? They built a fake wall to lure in a graffiti artist and then said like, haha, gotcha.
I mean, that's kind of a good time, right?
Yeah, I mean, any stakeout like this is cool.
I don't like that It was like an anti-Trump thing, right?
Pro-Trump.
No, it was to get pro-Trump people to walk into it.
No, so, well, the graffiti artist is a pro-Trump graffiti artist, but the reason he's being caught isn't because he's pro-Trump, it's because graffiti is illegal. So it's like an irrelevant part of this story.
Oh, but they
shoehorned it in because they know they get clicks if they put Trump.
Right.
And he was writing like "I love Trump, I love Trump." But
this was the police tricking a graffiti artist. I actually love this.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't have it correct?
No.
Yes, the police built a fake wall in a subway station, waited behind the fake wall until the graffiti artist showed up, and then popped out of the wall and said, "Aha, gotcha."
That's fantastic.
It's a good time. Like, this dude could have been graffitiing "I love lamp."
Right.
And they probably would have done the same thing because it's just they don't want graffiti. But instead,
not into the graffiti, please.
Yeah. When you jumped out of that fake wall, that graffiti artist's like, man, I had a feeling this wall was fake because it wasn't here yesterday.
This wall wasn't here, but I need to graffiti, man.
That is so, like, the fact that this dude saw a fresh wall and was like, I need to get that. Yeah, that guy needs to be in trouble for his graffiti habit. He's got a dangerous graffiti addiction at that point.
Yeah, you have a problem, sir.
Yeah. Police are searching for a woman who smeared her feces on 500 feet of carpet. This is a headline that doesn't do enough for me. I need way more info.
All right.
She defecated herself inside a store, then spread it over 500 feet of carpet. Okay, I got more.
Got more.
I was picturing her dragging her butt around the carpet like a dog.
I think we all were.
There's no other information. Like, no reason why. No, why did she smear it? So now are we thinking of her smearing it with her hands? Or feet? Maybe she, like, spread it with her feet?
I think you just snap and you go hands at a certain point.
Jeez, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it's not disgusting. The poop smearing story listed.
Gross. All right, let's move on.
Better the day, it's the better the day. Better the day, better the day.
There are so many games on the board for the toilet-faced god to choose from. Will he get it right? We were both wrong on the over yesterday, correct? St. John's let us down?
Yeah. Yeah, they couldn't score, which was a bad time to pick the over.
Bad time to pick the over. What do you got today? You are now 23 and 26, and I am 20 and 28.
Ooh, time to get hot and quick. You know what, man? Let's put our eggs in the basket. I'm totally not worried. I'm ready to align with you again. Like, you were cold, I was doing my own thing. Now I'm kind of cold. We need to get back in lockstep, and I think it's an easy one.
Okay.
Murray State Marquette. We're in on the John Morant show.
What's the line?
Marquette is favored by 3.5.
That's kind of close.
It's close, but A, Murray State can win this game, and B, if John Morant is everything John Morant's supposed to be, which people are talking about him as the second pick in the draft now, they can lose, but it'll be by less than 3. So it'll be a March Madness game.
We're doing something our good friend Brian Cashman likes to do.
Right.
We're banking on talent.
Banking on talent, man.
Betting on talent to show up. So we're both on Murray State.
You're in?
Yeah. I'm totally in. What's the fucking...
He's stupid, but he's smart.
I'm in. It's now my... That's actually... I guess this is dumb. That's my most anticipated game. Is that today or tomorrow?
Ooh, that's a great call, Jim. Well, it's today. Bet of the day.
Ha-ha!
Yeah, that's a great question. What is the best game today? Minnesota. Everyone's into Minnesota Louisville because it's the Patino Bowl.
And it opens up.
And it's the start, so that's a win-win. Auburn, New Mexico State, no. Belmont, Maryland, maybe. Murray State, Marquette, St. Mary's, Nova, Seton Hall, Wofford, Hughes, Baylor.
It's St. Mary's, Nova, and Murray State, Marquette. Those are the two.
I think I agree with you.
Those are the two most anticipated games for me. Jordan Gag, are you still in here? Artie, do you guys have most anticipated games?
Some game of the day. It's the game of the day.
It's the game of the day. Starts soon. Starts in like an hour for us, so that's exciting. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know if Artie and Jordan are still in the live chat. I was going to let them. Oh, Wofford. Artie Cruz says Wofford.
I'm telling you, Wofford's fun, man. You're going to like Wofford.
Okay. You need to find that spreadsheet for me that shows all the games and the times.
I'll show you about spreadsheets.
Ooh. All right, that ends the show. See you guys tomorrow. For anyone that likes watching live, we will be recording late tonight because I'm on an aeroplane over the land tomorrow. See you. Have a good day. Whoa!